So hello you guys and welcome back to my channel. I can't believe that Fear is back again so soon. It feels like the break between the part of the first half of the season and this half of the season has been so fast. Maybe it's just because I've been keeping busy, but it feels like it has flown by. So we are facing the second half of the season where shit is about to get real, as it so often does in Fear. The last that we saw, so fucking much happened. Like, so much crazy shit happened that it kind of left a lot of the characters open and up in the air for the second half of the season. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what I hope to see, or the characters that I think are going to come into it a bit more, or, you know, stuff like that. Alright, so obviously at the end of the first half of the season, the biggest thing to happen was Madison. Madison put on her big girl pants and took control of a very crazy situation. The whole thing that went down there was just wow. Fucking hell. Her giving Otto's head in a bag to Walker, it was a really fucking strange thing to do, but now it seems like Walker trusts her, or at least accepts her, more than he ever did with Otto. So maybe she'll strike up some sort of working relationship with him. Maybe it'll go to shit. I mean, Walker doesn't strike me as the type of person that will just go quietly. So I don't think that's the end that we've seen of that whole situation. I reckon he'll come back and he'll still be like, hey, I want the land, you know. But at least he sees that Madison can take control of the situation, I guess. I feel like she kind of now has inadvertently put herself in the leader role of that whole community. She gave a speech to the people and it was so convincing and she was so strong with her wording that I don't think it'll be difficult for anybody to fall into step behind her or to want to follow her. So I could very well see her becoming a proper full-on, full-time leader of the new community that they've found. She seems to have rekindled a relationship with Nick a little bit. Nick has been through a lot in himself, God help us. He's been through a fuck ton of stuff. I mean, he started out the apocalypse as a recovering drug addict, or drug addict trying to kick the habit, which is apocalyptic enough in itself. God help us, that young fella must have felt like the end of the world was going on inside his head. But, you know, fair play to him, he got over it. But I feel like his relationship with Madison, it's always been strained. I mean, we've seen that. It has always been strained. But seeing him come to Madison's defence that night in the room with Otto, I think we're going to see a new relationship form between the two of them, because they've never really had a mother-son relationship. And I feel like now we're going to see one, or we're going to see them attempt to have one or to build one. Now, whether Nick will completely agree with everything his mother does or not is another thing. I don't think he will. I think he will follow her so far and then he'll kind of take a step back and be like, hey, whoa, that's a bit extreme. So I don't think that they're going to see eye to eye on everything, but I do think they're going to try and work at building whatever it is they have. I think Nick's relationship with Luciana isn't over as well. I know she left. Her leaving is kind of like a, well, fine. Like, if you're not going to fall into step with me, then I'm gone. And I get that. You've got to do what's best for you in the apocalypse. But I don't feel like that's the end we've seen of Luciana and Nick's relationship. I think they'll probably bump into each other somewhere along the line, or they'll rekindle, they'll come together again somehow. Because I feel like that was too sudden and abrupt to be the end of whatever it is that they had. Strand is another one that I hope we see more of this season, or this half of the season. I really like his character. He always comes out with really weird, witty, kind of offhand remarks and stuff. I feel like the scene on the Abigail between him and the astronaut was telling enough in itself. Strand felt isolated and alone and betrayed. He felt like there was nobody out there for him. Nobody that he could kind of trust. But he got in contact with this astronaut fella up in space who was fucked off up into space and just forgotten about. The crater is stuck in space. The apocalypse isn't even affecting him. He's up in the sky. But he is stuck up there because obviously all the technology is down and whatnot. But I think Strand saw that he has a chance. Strand saw, well, I'm here. I'm on Earth. Unlike this dude up in the sky. I'm here. There are people out there. I'm not completely alone, even though it feels that way. So Strand walking off, burning the Abigail, was like, I'm back, bitches, get ready. So I hope to see more of him. Obviously we will. I hope he reconnects with Madison in the group, because, you know, since Strand's death, Madison has kind of been all over the place, and I feel like she's very impulsive. Cutting off, or giving Otto's head to Walker. She's such an impulsive woman, and I have said this about her before. I feel like that would be her main downfall, or her main disadvantage. She jumps too quickly to do something. So I wonder, once Strand, if he does reconnect with her in the group, how will that work? You know, will he try and talk sense into her? Will she be completely against whatever it is that he has to say? Will they bang heads? Will there be a power struggle? Maybe they'll get on really well. I mean, Madison has been through an awful lot since Travis died. So her character is constantly changing, and It's hard to tell if she's reacting to everything the way she is because of the grief she's trying to suppress. You know, is that just going to burst out of her someday? She's just going to have like a breakdown? Is she going to do something crazy, crazier than she has already done? So I would just like to see her interact with Strand and see how that would go down, I guess. Ofelia is another character that I'm like, oh honey, what are you going to get up to this half? You know, I get that she feels, she feels kind of like she owes Walker something. He did save her life. He was there for her when no one else was. He brought her in, literally saved her from dying. So she feels a responsibility towards him in a way. But I think the whole anthrax thing kind of like opened her eyes, because she seemed really pissed and shocked over that. She obviously was lied to and she wasn't told exactly what it was she was going to be giving everybody. And Nick nearly fucking died from that. So that little talk she had with Walker seems like he's trying to kind of brainwash her in a way that he's like, no, we're doing this for the right reasons. What you did was good. I wonder, will she buy that, or will she completely turn against him? Will she try and go back to Madison and that group and be like, hey guys, I fucked up. I'm sorry. Walker, I'm not on your side anymore. I'm leaving you. Sorry, bud, but I can't do it anymore, okay? Cannot be on your side. You're releasing diseases and shit out into the open. See ya. But if she does try to return to that group, I don't see Madison taking too lightly to that. Nick nearly fucking died because of what she did. Now, she didn't know what she was doing fully, but she had an idea. So she still double-crossed them. She knew she was double-crossing them, but she didn't know to what extent. So I don't think that Madison would be completely trusting of her right off the bat anyway. But I'd like to see what happens with Ophelia's character. And I want to see her fucking reconnect with Daniel as well. I mean, neither of them have seen each other in so long. They both are under the impression that the other one is still dead. So it'll be interesting to see how they get along together. Will they reconnect? Will they be too different to get along now? Because Ofelia has grown quite a lot since then. Ofelia has grown a lot. And she has become somewhat more ruthless, but she still has her humanity. Daniel has been through so much fucking shit, lads. We've seen that. His character has taken so many twists and turns. So I wonder, if they cross paths, will they be shocked at who the other person has become? Or will they just get along and form some like mega person, you know? I have a feeling this half the season is going to be super action paced, obviously, as it Fear the Walking Dead usually is. But, you know, there's probably going to be another big character death, maybe a main character death. I have a feeling that'll be more towards the end of the season though, because Travis just died at the start of the season. So I think they might keep another big character death until the end. But, you know, shit gets mad in the mid-season premiere and finale, so who knows what could happen in this week's episode. And it's a double episode as well. There's 2 episodes being aired. So anything could happen. So I'm just fucking interested to see who moves. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm feeling there's going to be a shift somewhere. Someone's going to move sides or move to go to someone else. Or, you know what I'm trying to say? Something like that's going to happen, and I just want to see who. Fear are so fearless, no pun intended, when it comes to killing off characters. We saw that with Chris, with Travis. Nobody's safe, and that's what I love about this show. You can't look at someone and go, well, they're safe because they're like a main character, they're not going to die. Travis fucking swan dived out of a helicopter, so you never fucking know what's going to happen. But I don't see a main character death happening until the end of the season. That being said, I could be fucking shocked. Madison could get shot in the face or fall off a cliff. Speaking of falling off of cliffs, Alicia, forgot to talk about her. Alicia has been through a fuck ton of stuff, but this season I feel like has been really strange for her. To me, it seems like she's not feeling anything. It feels like she's become too used to death, too used to you gotta keep moving, nothing stays still anymore. I mean, we saw that with her in the Bible study club. She was trying to relate to them and she was drinking and doing drugs, trying to feel somewhat normal. And then that went to shit. But the scene where she jumped off the cliff, I thought she was going to like splat onto the ground and bye-bye Alicia, but she fell into water. That to me was her attempt at feeling something. I mean, she's become so numb almost to the world around her. And I think she's worried about that she doesn't really feel anything anymore because she's so used to people dying. She saw Travis die in front of her. So I feel like she's somewhat of an unbalanced character for now. She could go either way, like. Her jumping off the cliff to me signified that she wanted to feel. Even if it was feeling fear, the rush of jumping off a cliff and holy fuck I could die, or at the very least belly flop into the water and get hurt. Even her relationship with Jake seemed somewhat weird, I guess. To her it didn't seem like she felt anything. It didn't seem like it was serious to her. It didn't seem like there was any real love there. But to him, it kind of seemed like he wanted to take it seriously, but to Alicia it was just fun. It was something to do to kill time because the apocalypse, everything is reckless, stuff like that. So that's kind of what I felt like that relationship was. I'm interested to see if they continue it. Maybe it might develop into something serious, but I don't see that happening. I kind of see it crashing and burning. Obviously she cared for him because he's a person and she was close to him, but I'd like to see if it does grow into full-blown love, or if it's just like, I care for you but not in the way I should. And while we're talking about Jake, we might as well talk about his brother Troy. Troy, this half of the season was so fucking riveting to watch. He was this loose cannon of a character that you never really knew what he was going to do, what he was going to say. You knew that you couldn't trust him. He seemed a bit off, but through learning about his backstory and about his upbringing, it's clear to see now why he is the way he is, how his mental stability was shaped around his upbringing. So he doesn't feel as dangerous anymore. Well, personally, that's what I feel anyway. And Madison seems to have like cracked the code on him too. She seems to have a better understanding and a better grasp for him as a person. So she knows now that if she wants him on her side, she can have him. She can manipulate and mold him to whatever she wants to do, which I guess is good for her, not so good for Troy. But Troy went from being this like, seriously like dangerous, crazy fella to, oh, that's just Troy. So, but I'm interested to see where his character goes this half of the season. I mean, we saw that scene between him and Nick where they were wrestling around in the nighttime for a diary, or there was a diary involved. I wonder, will he try and strike up a relationship with Nick, like a friendship? I don't see that working because Troy seems to have grown pretty close to Madison. Now, whether that will continue or not is another thing. But if Nick is rekindling his relationship with his mother, how is that going to fit in with Troy just casually being there? Will there be jealousy on Troy's behalf? That's the kind of shit that I'm interested to see. Do you know what I mean? The power shift, the change of characters. I love that stuff and I love seeing it happen, or seeing like a glimpse of it possibly happening and then trying to piece together in your head what's going to happen. I love that, so I can't wait for the second half of Fear. I know there's characters I forgot to talk about, but for now anyway, that's my opinion or what I hope to see. Drop a comment down below and let me know what you want to see, what you think will happen, or what character are you most excited for this half of the season. Because I feel like I went into this season rooting for certain characters, wanting to see them do well. But now that we're halfway through, I'm kind of almost rooting for different characters. So let me know what you think. So that's all for today, you guys. I hope you have a lovely week and I'll talk to you all soon.